Hello students, today we start with the chapter Excretory System in Standard 10th ICSE. So earlier in our previous video we had seen the circulatory system, and today we will go to the next system of our human body, that is excretory system. Now excretory system is basically a function of the body to get rid of all the unwanted substances which are present in our body. So in our body there are so many metabolic activities going on, and those activities which are going on produces what we call it as the waste. Okay, the waste, whatever is going to be produced by the body from the processes, what it is going to do, these waste needs to be thrown out of the body, because if they retain in your body it will automatically be poisonous. So to see to it that the body constitution of the body, that is the percentage of salts, percentage of water, percentage of sugar and everything remains stable, because the body is going to function normally only if the constituents of the body are going to remain same. It is going to remain stable. Now otherwise what will happen, due to the increase or decrease of any of the particular constituents, there will be a malfunctioning, or you can say abnormality, or the chances of some disease kind of conditions. So that is why it is required that the body needs to excrete out, that is, needs to throw out whatever the excess material which is present in the body, which is not required by the body. So accordingly we see that excretion, the process of removal of chemical waste, mainly nitrogenous waste. Yes, so mainly it is the nitrogenous waste which are going to be much more critical, because these are the ones which are produced in the body for the maximum amount of because whatever the liver does, whatever the digestive system is going to create, or that particular it is going to produce nitrogenous waste in our body. So the nitrogenous waste from the body is known as excretion. So the process of removal of chemical waste from the body is known as excretion. Excretion plays an important role in maintaining the homeostatic condition of the body. Homeostatic means equilibrium, or we can say steady state. Okay, so homeostatic means, as I told you, whatever are the different constituents of the body, if they are going to remain steady, if they are going to remain the same, then we call the body to be in a homeostatic condition or a steady state. Now organs which are concerned with formation of and storage and elimination of the urine constitute the excretory system. So we can say the main excretory system in our body is urination. Urine is the main excretory product of our body. So that's why the excretory system, when you see, there are many excretory products in our body, and there are many things, many different ways the body is going to excrete them out. The simple example would be carbon dioxide. We are producing carbon dioxide regularly when we are breathe out. So when we do respiration, so the carbon dioxide which is going to be removed is also the kind of excretion, but it is a part and parcel of respiratory system. So it is not a separate system to excrete out the carbon dioxide. Right? Similarly, the feces what is given out by us from the food what we are intaken is a part and parcel of the digestive system. The digestive system में जो भी हम लोगों ने खाना खाया उसका nutrients सब absorb किया, और जो waste है उसको हम लोगों ने बाहर फेंका. That's why excretion is not the fecal removal of the feces from the body is not excretion. Okay. So over here, when we talk about excretion, it is mainly the kidney, or we can say the process of storage and excretion of the urine from the body, or the production of the urine from the body is excretion. So that's why we have written over here that the formation, storage and elimination of urine constitute the excretory system. So the main excretory system is the one which is connected to the urine. The urine what we are going to pass out, that urine what we are giving out is the main excretory product which excretes out the maximum amount of unwanted substances from our body. So excretory system or urinary system, excretion should not be confused with defecation, meaning passing out feces. that is the undigested food through the rectum. Similarly, passing out carbon dioxide through the lungs is a part of respiration and not excretion. So that's what I told you just now, that excretion is nothing to do with respiration. Excretion is nothing to do with the fecal removal from the body, because that is a part of respiration, that is part of digestive system. But so we are considering excretion only as the one in which we are removing the nitrogenous waste which are present in the blood. ओके सो ब्लड को प्योरीफाई करने के लिए जो प्रोसेस होता है, दैट पर्टिकुलर प्रोसेस इज द एक्सक्रीशन प्रोसेस. दैट मीन्स वी आर ट्राइंग टू कीप द कंस्टिट्यूएंट्स ऑफ द ब्लड कांस्टेंट. ओके, in humans the term urinary system is more appropriate than the excretory system for the elimination of nitrogenous waste compounds. So that's why we can say that instead of excretory system, in humans we could have definitely considered it to be said to be as urinary system rather than excretory system. But anyways, because it's a system in which the whatever is the waste is being discarded out, so that is why we call it as an excretory system. Now let's understand that what are the different things in our body which needs to be discarded on a regular basis. Okay, we have got lots and lots of things which are extra in our body. Some of the things are such that we can remove, some are such which we cannot remove. Like the fats, even we feel अरे यार बहुत मोटा हो गया, तकलीफ हो रही है, but you cannot remove that fats by itself. The body is not going to maintain. अरे जब देखो मेरा body तो एकदम physically fit रहता है, no fat content at all because it is getting excreted out. Sorry, that doesn't happen. Fats are going to be accumulated in the body which you cannot just throw it out. Okay, that needs to be burnt out, that needs to be burnt out by exercises and by reduction in the diet and all. But we cannot do anything with the excretory system, cannot help you in case of fat reduction. So there are certain things which you can and certain which you cannot. The things which you can are those substances which are present in the blood or which are present in our body, which are being excreted out on a daily basis, on a day-to-day basis from the body. So which are the ones which needs to be excreted out? First up, there are a number of chemical substances which are regularly formed in our body or which are absorbed through the food that must be got rid of, otherwise they become harmful. Some such substances are carbon dioxide and water, that is the respiratory products, nitrogenous metabolic wastes, excess salts and vitamins, water, and bile pigments. So you can see that these are the 5 major category of the compounds or the products which we need to excrete out. So these ones firstly is carbon dioxide and water. This is basically the respiratory excretion. Okay, so first is carbon dioxide and water. Every living cell liberates energy by oxidizing glucose with the production of carbon dioxide and water. We know very well that the formula C6H12O6 plus O2 will give you CO2 plus H2O. So that particular process is the formula or the reaction for respiration, and each and every living organism respires. None of the living organism could be such that it does not respire at all. So that's why respiration is going to be compulsorily be there in each and every organism, and these organisms are going to produce carbon dioxide and water as the end product, or we can see the base product of respiration. So carbon dioxide of course is eliminated through the lungs. So the lungs are the one we have studied last year that alveoli है, alveoli में oxygen वो लेता है और carbon dioxide बाहर फेंकता है, which we exhale out from the while exhaling out we give out the carbon dioxide. So carbon dioxide eliminated through the lungs, and the extra water is released out of the body in the form of sweat. Yeah, the sweating what we are getting, what we sweat are basically the excess of water which is present during respiration. So because each and every cell is going to respire, that's why it is easier for that cell to give out that particular water in the form of perspiration or sweating. So that's why normally it is seen that these respiratory kind of waste is going to be given out by lungs. In case of carbon dioxide is going to be given out by the lungs, and water will be given out in the form of sweat. The next one are nitrogenous waste. So next is nitrogenous waste. Now the nitrogenous waste, these include urea, uric acid and ammonia. These are produced mainly in the liver from the dead protein remains of the other tissues that are brought to it. See, we know that the liver has got the function of removing the tissues, or we can say the discarding the tissues. So even the RBCs are going to be killed in the liver. So the different tissues which are there, they are going to be given out. The dead remains of those particular organ or the tissues are going to be giving out nitrogenous waste. So any extra amino acid digestion products of protein cannot be stored in the body. They are broken down in the liver to produce unusable, that is also storable glucose and urea that has to be excreted out. So basically it seems that whenever the excess of amino acid which is there in our body, that is going to go into the liver, and in the liver it is going to get converted into partly as the glucose which is going to be stored in the body, and another partly into a nitrogenous waste, that is urea over there. So this urea which is going to be given out by this particular liver needs to be excreted out. Urea is highly poisonous. If allowed to accumulate in the blood to a certain level, it causes death. Urea is excreted out through the kidney. So that's why the nitrogenous waste we are talking about is basically it is urea. So urea which is going to be produced by the body in the liver for the breaking down of the proteins or the amino acids which are there which are reaching the liver after digestion. So all these nitrogenous waste needs to be excreted out, because urea is highly poisonous if it is stored in our body for a longer period of time. So it is not allowed to be accumulated in our body for a longer period of time. The next is excess salts. So the next one is excess salts. So excess salts such as common salt, NaCl, and even some excess water soluble vitamins B and C need to be eliminated. See, in vitamins we have got vitamin B and vitamin C are the water soluble vitamins, whereas A, D, E and K are the fat soluble. So the one with the fat soluble are going to be retained by the body in the fats what we are having, but vitamin B and vitamin C, irrespective of whatever quantity of the vitamins you are taking, it is going to absorb, the body is going to absorb only a required quantity of B and C, and the balanced quantity, whatever is excess in the body, is going to be drained out by the kidney. So it is the kidney which is going to remove those particular excess of vitamins and pass it through the urine. So that's why the excess of salts and excess of vitamins are going to be eliminated from the body through the urine. Salts are mainly given out through the kidneys. So that is the main part, that kidney is going to be functional. So you can see that both these nitrogenous waste and the salts both are going to be taken care by the kidney. So we saw over here that this was done by the lungs, this was done by the sweat, this both are going to be done in the form of urine. Okay, so excess salts and this both are going to be done in the form of urine, that is in the kidney. The next is water. Of course, water is taken in with food and beverages in large quantities. The excess quantity of water is removed, which incidentally also serves as a purpose for dissolving the harmful material to carry them out. So water, not only the excess quantity, see, water needs to be eliminated. Excess of water also needs to be eliminated. Otherwise, our blood and all will become dilute. So it needs to be eliminated. But at the same time, water is also required for the body so that it can dissolve these salts and these particular kind of waste material and can be a carrier to remove the things. Like for example, if you got a large quantity of nitrogen waste in your body and a good quantity of salts in your body, but if you are not hydrated properly, then the possibility will be that there is no urine formation because of the lack of the water content in the body, and hence these two things will remain in your body. That is the reason we need to drink a lot of water. Even if it is an excess, not a problem, because that excess of water is going to help you to remove the waste. It is not going to cause much harm to you. But if you don't drink water properly, then definitely it is going to give you a problem, because water is the carrier to remove these waste material from the body. So the excess water of the body is removed, which incidentally also serves a useful purpose of dissolving the harmful material to carry them out. The fifth and the last one is the bile pigments. So I lost this thing, water, and finally is the bile pigment. Bile is the juice which is generated by the liver. So chiefly yellow bilirubin are the breakdown products of the hemoglobin of the dead RBCs. We very well know that liver is the one which is going to kill the RBCs after their time period of 120 days. So the RBCs, when they die, they have got bilirubin in them, they have got the hemoglobin in them, and this hemoglobin, when it breaks down, it causes bilirubin, that is the bile pigment. The liver cells extract it from the circulation and secrete it into the bile juice poured into the duodenum through the common bile duct. These pigments are modified in the intestine to pigments that give feces their yellowish brown color. Some of these pigments are excreted in the urine. So that's why we see that the bile juice is going to be there, which is going to be entering into the duodenum, and this bile juice is going to be used to modify the is used as a modified pigment for digestive system, and then it is going to be added. That's the reason the feces are on yellow in color. That is because of the presence of the bilirubin, which is present in the bile juice, which is given to the duodenum. And even sometimes the color of the yellow color of the urine is also due to the bile pigment, but normally it is not due to the bile pigment. The yellow color of the urine is mainly due to urochrome and not due to bile pigment. We'll study that thing in a later part. So excretion, overall, we can consider the excretion is the removal of harmful and unwanted nitrogenous waste products from the body. So that is basically, we can define that excretion is these two products. Okay, this is the one that we are the unwanted nitrogenous waste and removal of harmful and unwanted nitrogenous waste from the body is the excretion. Now let's understand about the excretory organs. Which are the organs which are excretory organs? So now we are considering that excretion is mainly connected to only this two, or maybe this two also. So we will consider mainly is this parts, that is nitrogen waste, excess salts and water needs to be given out from the body, or needs to be thrown out from the body. So that is the one which is going to be done by the excretory system. So we see which are the organs which are going to be involved in the excretion. So let's see the excretory organs. Firstly, excretion in human is brought about by the following organs. First is kidney. Kidney is the main part, these are the primary excretory organs, eliminating nitrogenous waste, chiefly urea, from the blood and throwing it out in the form of urine. So the complete process of taking in the nitrogenous waste, removal of the nitrogenous waste from the blood and converting into urine and throwing it off, that complete process of formation of the urine takes place in the kidney. The another excretory organ is of course the sweat glands, which we discussed in the respiratory part. So excretion of sweat by sweat glands is incidental. These glands are primarily concerned with cooling, that is thermoregulation. The sweat secreted also carries with it small amounts of nitrogen waste. Sweat glands pass out sweat only when required for cooling, so truly they are not excretory. Yes, we can say sweat is an excretory product because there is certain amount of nitrogenous waste given out by the sweat also, but mainly sweat is for the thermoregulation. It is for, you have to remember, if you remember vasoconstriction, vasodilation वगैरह क्यों होता है, hot climate में जा रहे हैं कि cold में, तो इसीलिए इसके हिसाब से the sweating is going to be there depending upon the temperature of the body. If the temperature of the body is higher, so to cool it, the sweating will be more. If the temperature is low, to keep it hot, it will not be, sweating will not be taking place. So normally sweat is connected to the thermoregulation, but sometimes when you are sweating, the sweat also contains some nitrogenous waste, and that is one of the reason that many times you will find that the sweat, when you sweat too much, you start stinking. So your sweat stinks. So when does your sweat stink? When the sweat contains certain amount of nitrogenous waste in it. So whenever the body is doing some exertion and it has to, and if the body does not have enough amount of water, so urination is not possible, then sweating is the another media by which the nitrogenous waste is going to be given out by the body, and that's why the sweating also acts as an excretory system, but not regularly. That's why you cannot say it is a pure excretory organ. Lungs, excretion of lungs is form of carbon dioxide released in the expired air. So yeah, that is very clear that we are going to release the carbon dioxide present in the body through the lungs. So that was about the excretory organs. So these are the three excretory organs, but mainly we in this particular chapter we are going to learn only one of them, and that is the kidney. So we are going to see that how does the kidney function and how they are going to help us to do the excretion from the body. So let's understand about the kidney and its location and all. So first is kidney. The kidneys are two bean-shaped organs about 10 centimeters long and 6 centimeters wide, located on either side of the backbone and protected by large two ribs. Now this location of the kidney is very, 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 very important. Okay, you have got a question in the papers that state the location and function of the following, और उसमें kidney आता है. तो kidney का location क्या है? तो this is what you will be writing, that it is located on the either side of the backbone and protected by the last two ribs. So this is the location. That location is that it is on either side of the backbone, protected by the last two ribs. The right side kidney is slightly lower level than the left side kidney. So you will always find the right side kidney is slightly lower than the left side kidney. तो क्यों? क्योंकि जो liver है, liver को accommodate करने के लिए the kidney is slightly down. So right is down and the left is slightly upwards. The tube, the ureter, arises from the notch ileum in the median surface of each kidney and connects behind with the urinary bladder in the lower part of the abdomen. The front end of the ureter is somewhat expanded into the kidney and is called as the pelvis. Okay, so the excretory system is this way, that this is one kidney over here and there is another kidney over here. So this we can say this is the right kidney and this is the left kidney. I made it almost on the same side, but I should have made it slightly lower. So this is one kidney. Now this one over here, that is this area over here is the pelvis. So this is the pelvis over here like this, and there are the tube structures which are given out from this particular kidneys over here. So these are the two tubes which are given out from the outlet of these are the, so this is the kidney and these are the ureters. Okay, so kidney and the ureters are given over here, and a tube, the ureter, arises from the notch ileum of the medium. So in the middle over here there is the ileum from which this is going to be given out, and connects behind the urinary bladder. So there is one bladder over here, there is one bag-like structure. So this is nothing but the urinary bladder. So this particular urine which is generated over here passes the ureter and stored in the urinary bladder. In the lower part of the abdomen, the front end of the ureter is somewhat expanded in the kidney and is called as a, so the front part is expanded in the kidney, which is called as the pelvis. So this is slightly expanded in the pelvis. The urine produced in the kidney constantly flows to the ureters and collects in the urinary bladder. The urine is intermittently emptied from the urinary bladder through the outside of the body through the urethra. So here, after this are the urethra. The urethra is through which the urine is going to be given out. So this is the urethra. Now over here there are two, these are muscles. These are called as sphincter muscles. Now sphincter muscles are the one which is going to see to it that whenever the urinary bladder is full, then it will sense over here and give you a sensation that you want to urine, and that's why the sphincter muscle will open and the urine is going to be passed through. So sphincter muscles are going to be there to stop the flow of the urine continuously from there. So it is stopping, it is like a stopper, it's like a valve which is opening and closing whenever we want to urinate. The opening ureters are somewhat projecting and act like valves to prevent the backflow of the urine when the bladder contracts to pass out the urine. A sphincter circular muscle guards the opening of the bladder into the urethra and relaxes only at the time of urination, that is micturition. So the process of urination is called as micturition in biology, under an impulse from the brain. So when the brain gives you an impulse that okay, you want to urinate, at that time this sphincter muscle is going to relax, otherwise it's always in a contracted position, so it is always going to be tight, so it doesn't allow the urine to flow through. But when the brain gives us a signal, it relaxes and the urination takes place. So this was about the location of the kidney and on the different parts of the urinary system or the excretory system, that is the two kidneys, right kidney, left kidney, and the ureters and the urinary bladder and the sphincter muscle and the urethra. So this is the main, we can say, the superficially whatever is available about the excretory system. Now we see the kidney in detail, but in the next video.